Friday. Thank y'all so much for joining us. For those of you that are here, my name is Amy. I'm in the Swerve office, and today we are back at it. We're going to show you how to make another delicious recipe with Swerve. So today we're going to be doing some brown Swerve Pecan Scones, which is just a wonderful little healthy breakfast for you, or just a nice little afternoon snack. We kind of chose this recipe because we have a very exciting new pack size for brown Swerve that we want to show you. So this is our newest product. It is a 48 ounce or 3 pound bag of brown Swerve. And I know it seems like a lot, but if you've never tried brown Swerve before, or if you have tried brown Swerve, then you would know why you would want 3 pounds of it, because it's absolutely amazing. It is just like brown sugar. It is sticky and packable, and it has that wonderful cotton candy smell. So yes, we are just really celebrating brown Swerve today. We want to let you guys know that we have this new larger size available on Amazon, and yeah, we're just going to show you how to make a delicious recipe with it. So just to kick it off, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about Swerve if you're not familiar, and then we'll get into the recipe and everything. But just to give you a little background information, Swerve is a healthy baking and cooking company. So we are all about embracing and enjoying life, but in a way that's a little bit healthier. And so we have a whole line of 0-calorie natural sweeteners, as well as gluten and grain-free bake mixes. So you'll see some of the sweeteners here. Of course, we have our brown Swerve, which I mentioned earlier. This is literally just like brown sugar. It's amazing. Tastes like brown sugar, smells like brown sugar. Awesome. You can use it cup for cup in any recipe that calls for brown sugar. We also have a confectioner Swerve. This is also 0 calories, doesn't affect blood sugar at all. So great for anything like your frostings, your glazes, anything calls, any recipe that calls for powdered sugar, you can use powdered Swerve. And then we also have a granular Swerve, which is right here. So if you're interested in trying any of these Swerves, or trying the new brown Swerve, all of those you can find in the links below. We have all of our different sweeteners, even some bake mixes, even some of the other ingredients we're using today, like this almond flour, coconut flour, all just really great, lower glycemic, better for you baking ingredients. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the recipe. Today we are gonna be making some brown Swerve Pecan Scones, which again are such a great breakfast option. These don't have any added sugar, and they also have no white flour. So this is not a typical sugary breakfast that's gonna make your blood sugar skyrocket and then dip down and you're hungry an hour later. This is actually gonna be a breakfast that has some good protein and some good fats and no added sugar. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the recipe. These are all of our different ingredients that we're gonna use. But yeah, we're gonna get started with the scones. So what you're gonna need is 2 cups of almond flour. And we actually have this exact almond flour linked below. This is Bob's Red Mill. We love Bob's, great texture. Oops, I lost a measuring cup. But this is we love this almond flour because it has a really fine texture. So it's really good to replace flour and kind of create like a healthier, more nutrient dense baked good with these different flours here. So it's gonna be 2 cups of almond flour, and we're just gonna add this right to our bowl. And this is a really simple recipe. You're basically gonna add all your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients, mix it and bake it. So very simple, very straightforward. So once we have our almond flour in there, we're gonna go ahead and add our brown Swerve. Again, this is like the 12 ounce bag. We have those linked below, but then we also have this brand new 3 pound bag of brown Swerve, and it's absolutely awesome. So, brown Swerve obviously is great to replace brown sugar in recipes, but it's just I just wanna show y'all, if you can see it in this bag, packs like brown sugar. Smells like brown sugar, that molassesy, like cotton candy smell. It's delicious, and you can see here, it packs like it's here, and I'm just gonna dump it Look at that, amazing. Okay, so you get that true texture. It's not one of those like free-flowing, like golden sweeteners. It's a true brown sugar replacement. So, all right, we got our brown Swerve. That was just 1/3 of a cup there. We also need a couple tablespoons of coconut flour. Again, we're using Bob's Red Mill here. And coconut flour is another one of those gluten and grain-free flours. It's very high in fiber, and it's very absorbent as well. So, interesting flour to work with, but a lot of times we like to use the blend of almond and coconut flour in those like gluten-free baked goods. And then we also need a little bit of baking powder. This is just gonna be 2 teaspoons here. And this is gonna be our leavening agent for the recipe. And then, let's see, a little bit of salt, just 1/4 teaspoon. And I like to measure my salt over the sink because a lot of times, you know, it's like a small serving and you don't wanna like put too much in your baked goods. See, I over measured for sure there. So I'm just gonna scratch off the excess there, and then there we go, 1/4 teaspoon in the bowl. And that's it, okay? And so I'm gonna mix all of this together just so all of our different dry ingredients and flours are combined. And while I'm doing that, the next step would be 1/2 cup of chopped toasted pecans. Now you can use like walnuts if you have those on hand. You could use almonds. I think the pecan and like the brown Swerve flavor goes together really, really well, but you can just use whatever you have on hand. And then just like another little tip, if you are toasting pecans, especially like on the stovetop, like in a soft saucepan or whatever, you wanna do it on like medium heat and just keep stirring it the whole time. Don't walk away from the pan, even if it's just like a quick text or whatever, because they can get burned very quickly and easily. So I have burned many, many nuts in my lifetime, especially around Thanksgiving. We got a bunch of stuff going on. You're trying to like toast your pecans for a pecan pie or something. Don't walk away from the pan, just don't do it. So yes, make sure that you don't burn the pecans, because once they're burned, there's no going back. All right, so once your flours, and you wanna mix it a little bit, make sure they're all nicely incorporated. Once your flours and your dry ingredients are all mixed together, you're gonna go in and add your toasted, not burned pecans, just right in there. And then mix those all together, and then we're gonna go and add our wet ingredients. So, for our wet ingredients, we're just gonna put them right in here. It's gonna be 1 egg. Okay. And then we're also gonna do 1/4 cup or 1/2 stick of butter. Ooh, I hope this didn't solidify too much. It should be melted. I melted it a little while ago, so I'm just gonna heat it back up a little bit. Okay. Just like 10 seconds, so it gets nice and soft again. We're also going to add a couple tablespoons of heavy cream so that these are nice and delicious. And then a little bit of vanilla extract as well. That's just 1 teaspoon. All right. I'll just grab that butter real quick. All right, this looks good. Okay, so I've got my dry ingredients, my wet ingredients, and I'm just gonna stir all this together until it forms a really nice dough. And this is like, you know, typical gluten-free ingredients. You may need to work it together a little bit, and that's totally fine. Again, we love a good workout in our baking. Just working those arms, it is all good. So yes, this is a really great like brunch recipe. This is a really good like make-ahead recipe too, if you wanted to make this like on a Sunday morning and then eat these scones throughout the rest of the week. You can also freeze these and just save that topping kind of like on the side. That's also a wonderful idea. So you can see right now the dough is like a little bit crumbly. We're just gonna keep working it until it comes together and until we get kind of one large piece of dough. And at that point, we're gonna take it, we're gonna put it on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. You can also do like a silicone mat if you have that. It's like your non-stick, or you can just do like a regular baking sheet. Just make sure to spray it real well with some non-stick spray or some butter. So just to make sure that the scones don't stick to the pan. All right, and you can see now it's coming together. So we're just working it. It's all good. Making sure everything is mixed and incorporated. Using that, what is it, bicep strength? Just, ooh,
Amy, someone asked if they can use an egg substitute.
Oh yeah, you can use an egg substitute. So if you did like a chia or flax egg, absolutely. You can totally substitute that in there. So a chia egg, I think it's like 3 tablespoons of water to 1 teaspoon of chia or flax seeds. And then you can also buy an egg replacer from, again, our friends at Bob's Red Mill. They have a lot of great products. So I would just like follow the instructions from the packaging on like how much would be the equivalent of 1 egg. Or you can use a product called Just Egg. That's what Bree in the office said. I've never used that before, but I hear good things. So yeah, Just Egg, that's another good one. Okay, so you can see we have a fully formed little dough ball here. Grab this. Okay, and then so all you need is like a baking sheet or a baking pan lined with parchment paper. I'm definitely partial to my parchment paper here, and then I'm just gonna pick it up and plop it down there. Okay, so once you have your little dough ball, you're just gonna pat it down to about like 7 or 8 inches wide. I like the kind of rustic edges there. You can kind of make them perfect if you want. Totally just kind of up to you and your preference. But that looks to be about the size we're going for. And this is, so, okay, let's see. We have a few different kinds that we use. This is the brand is If You Care. Parchment paper is an unbleached, but like we've also used like Reynolds wrap or whatever. Just kind of whatever you have.
Can they use a cast iron pan?
Ooh, cast iron pan. It would have to be like seasoned and worked to where like it's become non-stick. You know, because if it hasn't been I guess like worked to the point of where it's a non-stick, you're gonna get probably a little bit of a sticky mess going on. So yeah, your parchment paper, your silicone mat, your just like plain baking sheet that's well buttered or well sprayed, it's probably gonna be your best options here. But you could make it work in a cast iron as long as it's well seasoned. Okay, so this is about the size we're going for. You can see not too big, but we want like we want them to be a little thick. You can see right here, you know, a little thickness to these scones. So once you have this, you're gonna pop it in the oven. This is actually gonna be on 325 for like 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven here. I like to do the middle rack. I think they bake the most even on the middle rack. Oh, and let me set my timer. Don't forget to set your timer. We'll start with 20 and then we'll check. All right, so those are gonna bake in the oven for about 20 minutes. Now, once you have your actual scones, or like in the meantime while they're baking, you can be making your glaze, which I don't know, it's kind of my favorite part of the scones. So this is like a delicious brown sugar swerve buttery glaze. So we're just gonna make this in this little saucepan right here. So what you're gonna need is, well, we'll start with the brown swerve. So 2 tablespoons, again, of brown swerve, also available in 48 ounces. You can find that at the link below. And so we're gonna grab a couple tablespoons here, and you're just gonna put this in a little like heavy bottom saucepan. So a couple tablespoons, and I just go right in from the bag. There we go. And then we also need a couple tablespoons of butter. right there. Oh, I need to turn this on. Now when you put it in, you kind of want to cook down your butter and your brown Swerve together so that they melt down and combine and dissolve together really nice and make like a caramelly delicious sauce. So that's exactly what I'm doing right here. And then you're just gonna kind of like use a whisk these two together until they're nice and melted and combined. And once you do that, we're gonna add a little bit of confectioner Swerve just to bump up the sweetness and give it that nice sweet flavor that you're looking for in a glaze. Because scones, you know, like they're not like quite as sweet as like a cookie or a cupcake. They're more of like a kind of like lesser sweet, like slightly sweet breakfast pastry. So the glaze really adds a little bit more sweetness and a little bit more like deliciousness to the whole thing. So that's what we're doing here. And you'll see this brown Swerve like dissolves really quickly and it just dissolves right into that butter. It's delicious. Show you guys right here. We have like a caramelly situation action going on. So we're just gonna keep cooking that down till that butter fully melts. And I even like to let it just like boil a little bit now that it's in, because it like tells me like, I know it's fully dissolved. So that's what I'm gonna do here. And then once I start seeing those bubbles forming, and I do this over high heat, you know, we don't have time to waste. So we're just gonna get it going right away. And once everything is dissolved, actually turn down the heat a little bit. So like, we're at an 8, we're gonna take it down to a 3, okay? So we're down to a 3 now, and then I'm gonna add my confectioner Swerve. We're gonna go 1/4 cup here. So 1/4 cup of confectioner Swerve. We're also going to add some vanilla, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Right here. Ooh, you hear it bubbling? Okay, that's what happens when you add vanilla to a little caramel situation. And then we're gonna do some heavy cream. So just like 1 to 2 tablespoons here. I'm just like literally gonna do a splash. It's really just to kind of thin out the sauce so that it's nice and spreadable and pourable. And you'll see it kind of even firms up as you put them on top of the scones. And that's it. That's really the glaze. Super, super simple. So you can kind of like leave that on low heat, and then the magic of TV, again, or live, so whatever you want to call it. I have some scones that are fully cooked. So I'm gonna show y'all that. Ta-da! So this is how they're going to look once they are fully cooked. Someone in the office was like, is that one big cookie? No, it's one big scone. So once we have this fully baked scone, you can see the beautiful golden brown edges here. I'm gonna cut this into 8 different pieces. So just literally gonna go in like a little mini pizza or something, or a very large cookie, whatever you want to think of it as. And so I got 4 pieces, and I'm gonna cook or cut all these into halves. And so we have 8 beautiful scones. And I just love that little like rustic outer edge. Isn't that so pretty? So we love that. And these are gonna be our wonderful scones. So again, like if you wanted to freeze these or kind of like keep them in your fridge, you would want to cut them individually just like this, and then store them in like an airtight container, and then have like your little sauce on the side and just kind of like drizzle that as you eat them. But you can see these are beautiful scones here. This is our beautiful sauce. I left the heat on, so it's like just all combining together. And then now that everything's cut, I'm just gonna kind of pour this on top here. All right, and that is it. So another super simple recipe. You literally are just kind of combining all those dry ingredients together, adding in your wet ingredients, and then baking your little scone circle there, making your sauce on the side while your scones are baking, and then just drizzle this on top once they are done. So that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Again, as this like cools a little bit, it's gonna harden up so you can see it'll get that nice like glazed look to it. And then again, we are so excited to have this really big bag of brown Swerve for y'all. I love brown Swerve so much. It is not only a brown sugar replacement. I mean, I love to use this in like savory recipes like Brussels sprouts and even like a barbecue sauce and things like that. I also love to put this in my morning coffee. It just gives it a nice like delicious caramelly like yummy flavor. So yes, if you are kind of maybe new to Swerve or you've always stuck to granular and confectioners, definitely try brown Swerve. It is like my new favorite. It's amazing, and we have this beautiful big bag of brown Swerve you can get on Amazon now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. We're gonna continue to do these Amazon lives probably weekly on Thursdays, but let us know what time is best for y'all, and thank you for joining. So bye guys, have a great Friday and a wonderful weekend. Oh, and I have to try it. Okay. Let's see.
Somebody says it looks delicious.
I love these. They're so good. With some chocolate chips. Ooh. One step further. Are you still filming? Oh, okay. Try with some chocolate chips. Y'all gotta make these. Happy Friday.